Welcome back to my channel, Classic Volkswagen Lovers, Junior with Classic VW Bucks and Sonny the Super Beetle. Today we're going to do video number 5, Wiring 101 for your 1971 Super Beetle. In today's tutorial, we're going to cover the dual circuit brake warning light, wire connections as well. We will be tracing and covering the windshield wiper switch wiring connection. So let's get to it. So before we begin tracing these wires in the car, let's take a quick look here in the drawing. Let's begin by looking at number 31. 31 is a brown wire. It's a solid brown wire coming from the harness, from the motor harness into terminal 31. Off of that, there is a splice that it's supposed to be coming out and going to a ground terminal or a ground clip into the speedo. Next, we're going to look at 31B. 31B is this solid brown wire from the motor harness, and it's going to connect directly into the switch at terminal 31B. Then we're going to look at 53. So 53 is just a solid black wire coming from the motor harness and connecting to terminal 53 in your switch. Then we're going to look at 53A. And 53A, it's a black wire with purple stripes that is connecting from the motor harness directly into the switch to terminal 53A. Then we're going to look at 53B. And 53B, it's a black wire from the motor harness coming down and connecting directly into 53B into your switch. Then you have the other wire, which is a splice connection with two different wires. One of them being a green wire. And that green wire is going directly from the switch to fuse number 11 on top in your fuse box. And then you have the black wire, which is a thin, tiny black wire going to K7. And K7 happens to be your dual circuit brake warning light. And that's connecting into terminal 15 into K. And that will cover all of these wires right here. And I also have a spare switch that I can share with you in this video so you can see those terminal connections. There's one more wire that I want to go to, and that will be this brown wire here. That brown wire right there is actually your brown wire for ground, and that wire is going directly into connection to a terminal 31 in your J2 relay, which is your emergency flasher relay. The last wire I want to cover, it's a little tiny red wire right here. That red wire is connecting to TK, and TK is going all the way down, connecting to a T5. In my car, I don't have one of these T5 connectors, just letting you know up front. But then from that T5, it continues to go down and connects into a T3. I do have that T3, I can show you that, and that connects from the front harness, and it goes down to your F, which happens to be your brake light switch. These are your two brake light switch right there. So I will show you where that's located in the car. So this is what your windshield wiper motor switch looks like. This is a spare one I have, and then we're gonna point out some of the connections for you. You can see this one right there is 31B. This one here is 31. This one right here, it's 53A. Then followed by this one here, which is 53. Then you got 53B right here. That's 53B. And this right here is 30, okay? So that's a good picture of it right there. So take a close look at that picture, because I will share with you a hand drawing that I did for you, so you can have a better understanding as to where you're connecting when you're looking at your switch. All right, so right here we have the wiper motor. I have to tell you that my wiper motor, it's for a newer car. Normally in a 1971 Super Beetle, this motor here would have a harness that would have 2 brown wires, which mine does not have. Mine has a brown wire and a green wire. So not sure why, but that was the only part that was in the box of parts that I got with the car when I bought the car. So that's what I'm using, but I figure out what the connection needed to be so that it would work, and it's working fine. So I tested it before I installed it, so it works fine. So normally this would be your brown wire. So think of this green wire as your brown wire, and that will be connecting to chassis. So technically, this would be connecting to here. In my case, I did not connected it because I didn't have a need to it, but that's where it would be connecting. Then beside that, you see another brown wire. That brown wire from the motor, it's actually coming from 31B, and it will be connecting to 31B in your wiper switch. So that will be this wire that you see here. Next, we're gonna trace the black wire, which is the one coming off terminal 53. So this black wire right here, it's coming off terminal 53 in your motor, and then it's connecting to 53 in your switch. So that would be this black wire right here. Next, we're going to trace 53A, which is a black-purple wire, which happens to be this wire right here. And that's also connecting to 53A in your wiper switch. Then we're going to trace this black wire with a yellow stripe, which is this one right here. This is also coming from this lead here and connecting up here to the switch at 53B. The last wire that we're going to be tracing from your wiper switch is this green wire. Again, remember that this wire has a splice, meaning that there's 2 wires connected to the terminal port of terminal 30, and that wire is a little tiny black wire that I will show you after I trace this wire to fuse box and fuse number 11 at top, so you can see it. So you can see that this wire right there comes behind all of that bunch of wires, and it connects here to fuse number 11 on top. So we have completed tracing all of the wires for the wiper switch. Next, we're going to trace the wires for the double circuit break warning light. That system only has 3 wires. One of them is coming off the splice from terminal 30 in your wiper switch, and that will be this little wire that you see here with a shrink tubing. That wire right there is connecting to K7, which is this little dark button right here with the little lens. And you can see that right now it only has connected the black wire. The black wire is connecting to terminal 15. That's terminal 15, and that's the wire that's coming off from the splice connection on your terminal 30 from your wiper switch. Then this red wire here, connects to this terminal right here, and that's the red wire that comes all the way from up here. You can see how it's moving. That will be this one right here. And if we trace that wire, you see that T connector moving. That wire is actually that wire that you see me pointing with my index finger, and that runs inside this harness right here, comes over, and it connects to a T3 here. That would be this wire here, and that's going to be running down to your master cylinder for your brake system. And that completes the connections of those 2 wires. The last wire, it's a brown wire that it's also coming off of that. It will be this brown wire here. And this brown wire runs into one of your emergency flasher relays. So your emergency flasher relay is right here. It's this one right here. And that wire is going under that. And that's going to be connecting into this terminal that I'm going to show you in the wiring diagram, because that's the only way that you will be able to understand why I told you in previous videos that it helps a lot to install those wires before you fasten your fuse box to the body of your car. So that will be this one wire here, and this wire here is connecting to terminal 31 of J2. And if you look in your legend right here, J2, it's your emergency flasher relay. Alright guys, so that right there completes the tutorial for this video. This is video number 5. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up. Share this video with somebody. Until then, this is Junior with Classic BW Bucks. Junior out.